I'm here with James Grande. Welcome into the Better Baseball MLB DFS Playbook podcast and live stream here, recording for Thursday's 7-game main slate. James, I am on the playbook today, so we will have a full breakdown for everybody following today's podcast. And James and I, of course, will be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern to break down everything that's come out, lineup updates, news updates, weather updates, you name it. We'll cover it here on the Better Playbook Baseball live show at 5 o'clock Eastern. But for now, James, given our first look at 7 games here on a Thursday.
Yeah, interesting little slate. Once again, some pretty strong pitching options up top. Not a lot of elite offenses, and I even think there's some pretty good value as well. So, should be a fun little slate, and we can dive right into the Vegas side of Thursday's main slate. 7 games, bigger than normal, but that's a good thing.
Sure.
We have a couple minus 200 favorites, a few actually. AJ Smith Shawver is the biggest favorite on the board, and the Braves minus 240 taking on Kyle Freeland and the Colorado Rockies. The Minnesota Twins send Sonny Gray out to the mound against the Tigers. He's minus 205. Christian Javier minus 230 as his Astros take on the Washington Nationals. Those are the three, biggest favorites on the board in terms of the money line. And then when we go over and take a look at our over-unders, what do we got here? What do we got? Every game is 8 to 9 runs. Nothing higher, nothing lower. 9 implied runs in LA, Chicago. That is the only game currently at 9. So nothing really exciting, which doesn't really shock me considering there is a lot of really good pitching on this slate.
Yeah, there's a lot of top end pitching here, which on smaller slates not always great because it makes it a little difficult to build lineups.
Correct.
So we're gonna have to figure out where we want to go and how we want to be different here for 7 games. Let's kick it off at the starting pitching position. You asked me before we went live, is Nathan Eovaldi going to fool around and win a Cy Young this year? He may. He is $10,800 at the top of this slate. He is coming off of a tough start against Tampa Bay, but who hasn't said that this year? When we talk about pitching. But overall in the year, 2.49 ERA, 9-2 record, 83 strikeouts, sub 1 whip. A lot of good looking numbers here. And then you want to take a peek just overall, recent performances. Again, 1.65 ERA, even better, 64 strikeouts and 71 innings. He is 8-0 over those last 10 starts here. So just a fantastic beginning of the year. As a Red Sox fan, it pains me looking at our current rotation and seeing Nathan Eovaldi and Michael Wacha, who we let go in free agency, both just look fantastic. I guess the question is, James, are you worried about Eovaldi here going up and being matched up against Shohei Ohtani when you're spending $10,800 for him?
You and I both in the same boat. We have both suffered a Nathan Eovaldi loss on our teams here. Of course, Ohtani hasn't been as good as he was earlier in the year of late. But I'm perfectly fine getting there. The Angels profile better against left-handed pitching anyway. So I like Eovaldi at the top.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, man. It's just you're looking at this slate. You're looking at who has the upside here. Obviously, Ohtani does as well, but a tougher matchup. We like the Angels generally, but only in certain spots here. Pitch around Trout, pitch around Ohtani. You're probably sitting pretty good as a right-handed pitcher here. Ohtani, much tougher spot going up against Texas. You said, I'm not generally afraid to use him. Seattle got to him there. Houston got to him the start before. So back-to-back bad starts. Is Ohtani a fade for you on this slate at 10-7?
I think that just naturally people are going to gravitate away from him, and we're going to see double-digit strikeout upside. That's just kind of what he is and what he can do. And I understand Texas offense is extremely potent, and there's better spots to go to. But also, I'm not sure many pitchers on the slate have as much upside as him. I think Eovaldi does, maybe Sonny Gray. And I would say that's about it in terms of just pure upside, because we know Ohtani has as much strikeout appeal as any other pitcher on this slate. So I'm okay with it in tournaments. I think it's a solid leverage play because I do think people are going to stay away based on those last 2 starts. And I do think a lot of people are going to get to Sonny Gray and Marcus Stroman here. And honestly, probably Javier, even though he doesn't deserve it at 10-2. I think people probably get there. That would be my fade of this tier. I'm not going to Christian Javier at 10-2. I told you last time out, I thought he was too expensive. Gonna say the same exact thing again. Like another
Mhm.
tough spot against a team that doesn't strike out. And Javier's been down, like trending downwards in strikeout department anyway. So
Yeah.
I'd be okay getting to Otani. Javier's my fade. I'm going to live in this Sonny Gray, Marcus Stroman tier though.
Yeah, I like Stroman in this spot against Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh started off really good there for a little bit. Now they've looked more like the Pirates than they should. Reynolds much better from the left side of the plate than the right side of the plate. Probably really the only guy Stroman would have to truly worry about. McCutcheon better against righties this year as well, but not a ton of you know powerful hitters, we'll say,
No.
in that line. Jack Sawinski, just don't throw a ball up to that
Yeah,
guy because
please.
he double donged again. So that's your power here. Listen, I like Sonny Gray too, and it's Detroit, so I'm not going to not go there. But his first 6 starts far better than his last 6 starts. He is
Sure.
strikeouts are gone, walks are up, runs are up. Toronto, Cleveland, Houston, San Francisco Dodgers. Is that why? Probably. But still, current form, Gray has to at least have you pause a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the same pitcher, but you did mention the tough road that he has faced, and Detroit isn't exactly that. Seventh highest strikeout rate at 24.3% against right-handed pitching, and a 641 team OPS is dead last in baseball against right-handed pitching. So I'm not disagreeing with you in any capacity. It's been a different pitcher, but I'm willing to go back to Sonny Gray. The last time, like this has happened a couple times where he's thrown like a few pitches and then like they're like, you're coming out of this game. But then like last time he did it, 90 pitches. The previous start, it was 78 to 98. Like
Mhm.
every so often they limit his pitch count, and next start has been trending back upwards. So I do like Sonny Gray here. I do like Stroman here. I think the value tier is incredibly interesting on this slate because names that are down here we're not used to seeing down.
Yeah, I mean, Yu Darvish stands out at $7,400, right?
Yes. Yes.
Um, Goes against Cleveland again, a spot we've liked to target, but they're starting to come around. And
Yes.
Darvish did not pitch well in cores. Now it was in cores, but another guy that hasn't been very good since the middle part of this year. Good start against Chicago, sure, can't knock it, 36 fantasy points, but around that 11, 15, -8 and 14. That's why he's $7,400 now. He's not 10K. So
Yep.
I agree with you. Probably a ton of people get the Darvish just because one, it's 7-game slate. He's got a ceiling, favored to win the game. So I don't mind getting the Darvish here, but I don't think it's a slam dunk by any stretch of the imagination right now either.
Yeah. I'm like a little indifferent. Even in our notes here, John, I put you Darvish question mark because I mean, like the peripheral numbers kind of suggest he's pitching worse or he's just getting a little unlucky. He's allowing a lot of hard contact. He's allowing a very high fly ball rate, specifically to right-handed bats. But um, I don't know. I don't love Darvish here.
Yeah.
He's pitched better at home. The price tag is where you're gonna live or die with Darvish on this slate. That's where it feels like to me in pitching. Like you Darvish is just like such a key cog here. It's like make or break. If you're gonna play Darvish and he goes off, like you're with the field, and if you don't, like you're against the field, and it's could be bad business.
Yeah, listen, I also think Rich Hill's interesting. Again, if you look at some of his peripheral numbers, there is definitely some regression indicators there. But he keeps kind of pitching around that. Obviously San Francisco, Texas, tougher matchups got to him. St. Louis, the Mets, he's able to handle, but he's got a good run of starts in there where you just like go 6, gives up an earner or two. The strikeout numbers are still kind of okay. And then you want to talk about recent performances here. Chicago against left-handed pitching the last 2 weeks, 30.2% strikeout rate, 207 batting average, 120 ISO, 276 WOBA.
Yep.
So the Cubs last 2 weeks not hitting lefties at all. So Rich Hill at 6,300, the man's 44 years old, but still going out there and pitching well. He's liable to give up home runs for sure, but current form Hill versus current form Cubs, Hill could have the advantage here.
Yeah, I think the strikeouts are very interesting. for the Cubs because they do have some guys that hit for a lot of power, but also strike out. They have a lot of all or nothing guys against left-handed pitching, primarily like Patrick Wisdom, who they continue to run out there and he can't hit. Chris Morel run out there, he can't hit
Right.
lefties. Like they have a lot of those guys. So I agree. I think Rich Hill is interesting. I'm kind of on the same boat in terms of like a lefty that I'm gonna take a look at, and it's Matt Boyd, and kind of for a similar reason, like the results have definitely varied for Matt Boyd this year. It's been very up and down consistently. Um, but Minnesota is not a team that has had a lot of success against left-handed pitching this year. They have a massive strikeout rate, 27.1% on the year. The only saving grace, I mean, 678 OPS is near the bottom
Mhm.
four of the league, 27th in the league. 155 ISO is really their one calling, and they don't have their best power hitter in their lineup in Byron Buxton. So I'm gonna go Matt Boyd as like kind of just a probably 1% play because everyone is gonna stop after they see you Darvish being 7,400. Like no one's gonna look at anyone below you Darvish because like in theory you don't need to if
Yeah.
Cleveland is as bad as they usually are.
I agree. Obviously, the last one we have to mention because you said he's the biggest favorite on the board. Braves are at least is Smith Shawver here going up against Colorado. It's been a target of ours recently.
Yes.
Just pitchers against Colorado, whether they're lefties or righties. It's in Atlanta. Potential for some weather here in this game. Also, something to watch. But he's 5,500. Last start that he made against Washington got a no decision on 13 fantasy points. Not big strikeout numbers there. Did have 3 and 2 innings against Arizona, more strikeout upside against Colorado. If he can pull off a win, which he should, Atlanta's the biggest favorite on the board. Maybe he gets 17, 18 fantasy points here at $5,500. Definitely, I think is going to find his way into some lineups for me.
Yeah, me too. I shouldn't. People are gonna go to him as
I
well.
think
I
they'll go
shouldn't have just.
Jarvis and then they'll go down to Smith Shawver. They won't go Boyd or Hill.
Yeah, we're definitely in the minority there. Like this kid hasn't really pitched a lot in the minor league level, but he has been someone who's had a bunch of strikeouts. Um, in 2022, it was single A, but 103 strikeouts
And
in
he's only
68
20.
innings.
So, like,
He's only 20 years old, 45 strikeouts between 3 levels this year, not including the majors. He had in 33 innings, 45 strikeouts in 33 innings. So like he has missed bats.
he just happened to run into Washington in his first start, right?
Right, right. Washington, right, doesn't miss bats, so or doesn't strike out. And we talked about it on Wednesday stream. Colorado, per usual, just not hitting on the road. So I like Smith Shawver quite a bit.
Yep, I'm with you there. Let's move on over to hitters. Let's talk about our favorite infielders for tonight's slate here. James, lead us off.
I mean, everyone's going to play the Braves, right? Austin Riley, Sean Murphy, and Ozzie Albies for me were the three that stood
Yep.
out the most. Murphy with all three with infinite power against left-handed pitching. Kyle Freeland on the mound. I like Jose Altuve. I know he struggled against lefties a little bit, but Mackenzie Gore has definitely been very up and down after just kind of seemingly figuring it out earlier in the year. That has been not as fruitful of an approach using Mackenzie Gore of late. So I like Jose Altuve. And then Jose Ramirez, and it kind of goes to the Yu Darvish thing. Like, in no world is Jose Ramirez a $4,500 player. I understand he has largely been like average outside of like this recent stretch of games, but like the sheer ability to homer and steal a
Yeah.
base, he's not a $4,500 player. We just saw him hit 3 home runs in a game. Yu Darvish is allowing over a home run per 9. Like there's power upside for Ramirez, so I'd be willing to definitely take a shot on him at
It's a
4,500.
better split for him, too. Against right-handed pitching this year, 327 with a 526 slug and a 927 OPS compared to just 176 batting average against lefties. So he's going to be hitting from the right side of the plate in this matchup as well. So great call there at 4,500. You mentioned all the guys I was going to talk about, but we are going to throw in Machado here as well, $4,800. Again,
How dare you? How dare you attack Logan
against
Tian like that,
lefties
John?
this year. Manny Machado, 393 batting average, a 518 slug, and a 950 OPS. So I like Riley. I like Machado. I like Ramirez. All great. Like the Braves infield there as well. Just going to be pretty popular top end plays there for everybody on the slate. When it comes to value, you mentioned Altuve for a top play. I like the value for the Braves here. I think Jose Abreu still at $3,100. Starting to come around. We talked about it now. 2 hits in 4 of the last 5 games. Homers in 2 of the last 4. Had a double, had another RBI. So, really, 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 really bad start to begin the year. Many people thought he was just caked. All of
Washed.
a sudden, though, starting to come around, maybe figuring it out. Maybe he's starting to hear those trash cans a little bit better, and is, keying in on what pitches are coming. I don't know. But I'll take it. That works for me. And then Dubon. I mean, they just keep playing him. He keeps on getting on base. And he had dual positional eligibility. Where is he now, though? Is he not? Second base shortstop now. He was. Was he outfield eligible yesterday, Slate?
Yeah.
Now he's second and short eligible here. But $3,800, homered, keeps getting on base. So give me Dubon and Abreu for some value Astros exposure.
Jose Abreu, by the way, just too good to keep being this bad. Was never going to be that bad for.
Yeah, I mean, unless he was 45 years old. The one thing we always talk about,
right,
is that sometimes these guys are older, than they may seem they could be. Miguel Tejada, Albert Pujols, all those guys,
Julio Franco, who might have been 55 when he was playing baseball at 46 years old. I like those guys. I'm gonna go with Yan Gomes, our obligatory Yan Gomes against a lefty. As both of us, we need a Spider-Man meme right here, as both of us are listed as Jon Impemba on this podcast. We need the Spider-Man meme here, John. Yan Gomes gets a lefty here. Love that. Andres Jimenez. I'm going to be picking on you, Darvish here. And Royce Lewis has a small sample. I know I just mentioned Matt Boyd, but Matt Boyd also gets hit. I'm also not afraid to use right-handed bats against Matt Boyd, even though I do think he is kind of an okay value. Sure. Righties against Matt Boyd this year, 337 WOBA. So I think Royce Lewis is a pretty good value.
Yeah, last couple guys for me, Nolan Jones and Gary Sanchez. I think
love them. El Gaddy
are good values here on this slate. Let's move on over to the outfield here, James. Top outfielders for you today.
Top outfielders today, and I think you and I are in full agreement here, is Ronald Acuna Jr. coming off a home run in back-to-back. Did he back? No, home run in game number one of their game one of their doubleheader. 2 of the last 3 overall. He has been fantastic from pillar to post. I like Luis Robert. Michael Grove is not a good pitcher, and I've been attacking him at all costs this year. I wish there was more lefties in this lineup, because lefties have been particularly good against Michael Grove. But Luis Robert in a pretty good groove right now. Interesting lineup note for Thursday: Eli Jimenez returned, so adding a little depth to that lineup too for Luis Robert to have a little protection in hitting behind him. So I like Luis Robert. And I like Seiya here as one of my top plays. Seiya's been really good against left-handed pitching this year, and I know you mentioned how bad the Cubs have been
the
Cubs
haven't touched lefties with small sample size, right? So
yeah, small sample size. And Seiya has been that dude against lefties this year. 380 average, 416 WOBA. Against left.
Sure. For me, you mentioned Acuna already, but I'll throw in the Dodgers here as well. Just always considered. I know Dylan Cease can have moments, but more bad than good this year. So Betts, JD Martinez, those guys are going to be fine for me here on this slate. And then you can look at their value. Again, we've been playing Hayward, Peralta. If those guys are in the lineup, I think you can go down there as well. But I also like the Rangers value. Again, I may throw a lineup to be different here, going up against Ohtani, Zeke Duran, Lodis Taveras down here cheap at the 3K range. could be an interesting snag against Ohtani if he struggles again.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and say I would actively stack against Ohtani, but if you're building multiple lineups, he's been hittable. He's been hittable the last few starts. So more power to you if you nail that correctly.
Sure. What are you going for value?
Back to the Braves, Marcell Ozuna, Kevin Pillar. Pillar's been really, really, really good against lefties this year. You can play Astros. I won't steal your specific thunder on because I know you are a.
We can talk about Chas McCormick. That's fine.
Chaz, who spells his name incorrectly, and Jake Myers, both with
Chaz
solid.
spells his name on his Twitter Chaz Chaz, but his name is Chas Chas. It's very weird.
Make it make sense, Sean. Make it
Spell
make
your
sense.
name one way and stick to it, sir.
Make it make sense. And look, I'm gonna give some love to Michael Taylor of late, who has 1,000 OPS and like 3 home runs over his last 10 games. He's just kind of been good. I don't know. Michael Taylor has like these random stretches of good baseball. I mentioned I mentioned that Matt Boyd has struggled against righty bats. Well, Michael Taylor does have 3 home runs and a 321 WOBA
A couple
against
of years ago,
left-handed
dude,
pitching.
Michael Taylor against lefties was nails. So when he was on
Yeah.
Nationals, that's where we were playing. So
yeah, I'm gonna go with Michael Taylor.
I like that. And yeah, I think all Astros value there, whether Jolks is in the lineup, Chas McCormick, Myers, definitely all guys that can be in lineups here against with the lefty on the mound. So James, that wraps our outfield preview. Why don't we go through the Grande's Gems first look calls of the day?
Yeah, so my home run call, I think this is going to be a shock to everyone. Same to you, Sean Murphy. And my top stack is going to be the Braves. Everyone gasp. I know everyone's really surprised. I'm going to go contrarian stack Guardians against you, Darvish. And that's literally maybe just an ownership / Darvish struggling play. Guardians top 5 in offense over the last 2 weeks. Star of the night, Austin Riley. And the only reason I'm going Riley as my star of the night, not home run calls, because you stole Austin Riley from me from home run. So
you can
we can just double up.
Same home run call as me.
Nope. Give the people a wider net. And then my value play of the night. We don't usually use pitchers here, John. So I'm gonna go Matt Boyd as my value play of the night. I think Matt Boyd's gonna be a solid SP2 on this slate with 20 plus fantasy point upside against a team that strikes out a whole lot.
Okay, I don't mind that one. For me here, I am going to go Austin Riley to let people know. Top stack's going to be the Atlanta Braves. Contrarian stack, I'm going to go Rangers. I'm going to go up against Ohtani on this slate. I just feel like on a small slate, you got to do something different. I don't think many people will be going up against Ohtani. Back-to-back tough starts for him now, going up against one of the best offenses in baseball. But my star of the night, I'll go back to Austin Riley there as well, just kind of like you. I think that's where I would go. For my value play, you're going to keep the Jose Abreu train rolling. I think he just keeps it going there with the lefty on the mound. Stays hot there tonight. So that is our Grande's Gems Impemba Imprints, James. Let's finish the show up. Let's make a lineup for the folks at home.
How do you want to approach pitching? We both seemingly like Stroman the most of anybody. Of all the Darvish. Ugh. Yuck.
Okay.
Fine.
We can go.
No, we can play Darvish. That's fine. We can play Darvish. That's fine. Whatever.
Stroman, Darvish. See what we got for the line.
I just don't love Darvish here.
I don't love Darvish either, but I don't like Matthew Boyd, and you don't care for Rich Hill, so we're good.
I know it's fine.
We can go Sonny Gray, Marcus Stroman. 4K.
Well, you didn't like Sonny. You didn't like Sonny Gray.
We did
not agree
on
a lot.
I didn't care for Sonny Gray, but I mean, it could be better.
We did not have. We could also, if we wanted to go Evaldi, we could also go Smith Shawver.
Sure. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go Evaldi, Smith Shawver.
5,500.
There we go. 4,200 each. Catcher position.
That feels like something. Murphy or Jan Gomes felt
no Murphy.
Like the
cheap. Let's go Abreu at first.
Yep.
We're gonna spend up elsewhere on this one here.
Yes, we are. Riley at third.
Riley at third. Probably Acuna. Right.
So I went, and I think the way to fit Braves, maybe Kevin Pillar, 2,200, and just go full Braves. $2,200 is like,
where's Dubon down here?
38, I believe.
38. Shortstop and an outfielder. Let's see, Chats was 3K. $4,800 shortstop.
Or a $4,800 second baseman, right?
Yeah, because he can play both, right?
Albies. We'd be 5 Braves deep though.
All right, hold on. Dubon.
We'd be 5 Braves deep unless we pivot off Kevin Pillar for like $2,300.
Bingo.
Which is Jake Myers or Michael Taylor.
There it is. There's the lineup there. So full Brave stack. 3 Houston, Abreu, Dubon, McCormick, kind of getting your leadoff, middle, and bottom exposure there to the Houston lineup. And then the one off Michael Taylor against Matthew Boyd with Evaldi and Smith-Shawver there. That is our first look here at the Thursday main slate. I will be on the playbook. NFL Draft Guide launch day here at Fantasy Lineup, so be on the lookout for all the promos going around the NFL Draft Guide. That will be happening today. You should see it on site. You guys join up today as well. Go to fantasylineup.com/all-pro. Promo code MLB50 will save you 50% off the all-pro package and gets you access to everything we do on site. So sign up today, join in, get everything going on. I'll be on the playbook, and James and I will be back live at 5 o'clock Eastern with all the updates and lineup news for all of you to answer your questions, get you ready for the 7-gamer. Good luck. We'll talk to you later.